Welcome to the Executive Innovation Show podcast, where we bring you real executive conversations with industry game changers and thought leaders. We ask the questions you're thinking, what you're scared to ask, and we make your brain hurt afterward. With your host, Carrie Chitsey Wells, co-founder and CEO of One Touch Video Chat, live video interviews, and the nonprofit Humans Helping Humans.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's podcast, the Knowledge Knugget edition. Today, we're going to be talking about pediatric telehealth solutions versus telemedicine for children. So when we really talk about what's been going on in the industry with telehealth, pediatrics has obviously been a big area of focus when you look at moms and the convenience that telehealth provides for pediatrics. Really, whether it's 10 o'clock at night or it's during the day, loading up the kids, getting them into the pediatrics physician's office for routine kind of low acuity type things. A lot of that can be addressed and is being addressed today with telehealth. So typically if you're a mom or dad parent and your child gets sick, you have the option of, if you can get a same day appointment, taking them into the pediatric office. Or you have the option of going, to an urgent care, a minute clinic, something of that nature, kind of sitting in there, maybe exposing yourself to other folks that are in the lobby. And so telehealth for pediatrics and for children really has a lot of use cases. Now, you do hear the word telemedicine for children being used as well. And that's typically where the provider, the physician, is talking on the phone to mom and trying to ask questions to kind of diagnose. And that's kind of the old school telemedicine for children way of doing things. And usually kind of just business as is, not really billing for that and so forth. And so if you're a pediatric practice, and really looking to take it to the next level on increasing your billable revenues for things you're doing after hours, weekends already today, pediatrics have one of the highest after hours and weekend calls, then you really need to be thinking about your telehealth solution for your pediatric practice as a whole. And what that means is instructing your patients for after hours, for weekends, and looking at your appointment types that you have today. So if it doesn't require a physical exam, if it doesn't require actual labs, moving those appointment types to telehealth to free up that waiting room, keeping your patients and their guardians safer. In addition to that, really reducing the appointment and wait times from that perspective. So when you look at a solution, you need a solution that is scalable, that's going to be simplistic for any type of mom, whether tech savvy or not tech savvy, that has simplicity. And then let's talk about, from a pediatrics perspective, how doing telehealth with a child is different than doing telehealth with an adult. So, you may be talking to mom or dad initially, but then ultimately you're going to have the child on the video visit and being able to talk to the child. Now, because you're not able to look in ears or look down the throat or a nose, you're going to have to ask some more questions to the child about how they're feeling. And, maybe you still do have them open their mouth to look down the throat for a sore throat, things like that. But you're going to have to ask more questions. So with a telehealth appointment on average being 5 to 7 minutes, you're still able to get that, or maybe ask a few more questions. You might be on the higher side to really get the child to express how they're feeling, what they're going through, and so forth from that perspective. So if you're looking to implement a pediatric telehealth solution, you're going to want to keep some of those in mind on your practice workflow, on the appointment types that you should be doing telehealth, and then really looking at how you're doing your after hours in your weekend business today, what you're leaving on the table in regards to billable revenue through the CPT codes that you could be billing for today, to really look at it from that perspective. So if you have any questions in regards to that pediatric solution, we're here for you. And as always, please subscribe to get your Knowledge Nugget and your Tuesday show delivered to your inbox on your podcast player of choice. We will see you next week. And if you have any great topics that you'd like us to address, please let us know. Thanks for joining the Executive Innovation Show today, and we'll see you next week.
This podcast has come to a close. To hear more from the Executive Innovation Show podcast, subscribe, submit questions, and share the love. Follow us on social. We're everywhere.